Pets have always had an important role in family life. They provide people with companionship, happiness, they reduce stress and depression, as well as release endorphins and promote exercise. Some people don't exactly realize it and how they actually change people's lives. In my own experience, I have always had a dog, but I have a dog that is 13 years old and is at that stage in his life where he never wants to do anything and just wants to sleep. I never realized how much they made an impact in my life until in February when my family adopted two puppies from a family that needed to get rid of them. I found myself not being stressed with school, as well as most of the time being happy. Pets don't just make people happy, but they also help people stay healthier. Online, there are a lot of articles written about how dogs actually help the quality of life and during what ages it makes the biggest impact at. The Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina had put out this image and an article about the ages of which dogs help people during certain times in their life. As much as people believe that they know a lot about their dogs, this is a common statistic that no one really knows of. Out of all the pet owners out there in the world, around 132.8 billion of them are saving a cost of $11 billion on health care. The scientific research shows a positive impact of not catching a disease infection as well as keeping their blood pressure and cholesterol levels at where they're supposed to be. This goes for the same thing for reducing the amount of obesity. For people that are dog owners, if they were to walk their dog 4 to 5 times during an entire week, they are getting around $418 billion in savings. I was fortunate to have the opportunity to speak with Eric Callahan, who is a part of an organization called Canine Companions for Independence. She explains what Canine Companions for Independence is and how she got started with it.
Canine Companions for Independence trains service dogs for free of charge for people with disabilities, and that can be adults or children. So I kind of have to start at the beginning. They have their own breeding program, and what they do is they decide who they're going to pair up, the male and the female, and that those two dogs are taken care of by what are called breeder caretakers, and they go to Santa Rosa. So all the breeding program happens in Santa Rosa and the surrounding areas. They go to Santa Rosa, and hopefully there are puppies that come from that, and the puppies are either born at the breeder caretakers or somebody who takes the female, or they can be born at Santa Rosa. And then those puppies stay in wherever they are born for 8 weeks, and at 8 weeks the puppy raiser takes the puppies and they teach them basic obedience and also get them socialized. So at the time that they turn in to Santa Rosa or whatever surrounding area, those puppies might be shipped anywhere in the country, and each region has its own training center, and those puppies would go to their local region. So around here it would be Santa Rosa. When they get turned in, it's usually at about 18 months, somewhere between 17 to 20 months, but it's typically around 18 months. They go to Santa Rosa for formal training. So the puppy raisers are responsible for the social skills and the basic obedience, and then when they get turned into their regional training center, they get trained in the formal service, whatever activity they might have to learn. A friend of mine had started training puppies for CCI, and then she became one of the trainers for the classes, and there were 2 trainers then, and the other trainer was leaving, and she asked me if I was interested. I had been doing dog training for probably, I don't know, maybe 5 years, doing public classes, and I said, sure, that's, seems fun, I'll do it for a couple of years. And now it's been 17 years, and the people that you meet, the dogs themselves, so the people who volunteer, the people who are the recipients, I think that you've met a lot of them, and they're just a really remarkable group of people.
Service dogs aren't given out to everyone, and it costs a lot of money in order to get one. But for this girl, she never had a disability, but she explained why she joined the organization called CCI and how Alta came to her and has helped her through the rough time in her life.
Hi, my name is Romy. I am 17 years old and I am a senior at Gunn High School. I decided to join CCI when last year in April when I went to visit a litter of puppies. There were 10 of the puppies, and when I got to hold one of them, I told my dad that I really wanted to be a puppy raiser, and he immediately thought that that was a horrible idea. We didn't have time because I play sports in school, and so what I convinced him was that once the puppy was old enough, I'd be able to bring her to school, and so the timing worked out perfectly, and I got my CCI puppy in training named Alta. I got her at the end of June, and so it was the summer before my senior year, and so I dealt with all the baby puppy stuff when in the beginning of the summer before school started, and then when school started, she was old enough, and my dad ended up spending a little time at home taking care of her. So my job as a volunteer puppy raiser is to basically take the puppy in when they're 8 weeks old, and then I get to do the basic training. And so we're given a book of commands that we're supposed to teach the dog within the 16 to 18 months that we have them. So I have Alta right now, and she is a year, and her projected turn-in date is May of next year, 2019. So that is probably a little late because she'll be 2 by then, but then if she is pulled up to the February graduation, then she will have all her commands learned by the time she is turned in for more professional training. So what I'm supposed to teach her is the basic housebreaking commands, so potty training and basic commands like sit, down, stay, etc. like that. Alta has helped me a lot. Just as a teenager, get super stressed a lot of the time, and just having a puppy there to help me get through a really tough week has been really beneficial to me. Last year, my junior year, was a very hard year for me. It was a lot of academic stress, and I had a lot of things going on in my life outside of school as well. And so when I got Alta this year, I have realized that she's really helped me push through the things that I wasn't exactly able to get through last year. But with her now here, it has definitely helped me relieve the stress and be much more of a happier person because I'm doing something for someone who will need her eventually in their future. And so it makes me feel good about myself and what I'm doing for the CCI program. Some things that have been going on before I had Alta was that I was a super busy person. I was doing 2 sports during school, and I was taking a huge academic load my junior year. And so having all of that stuff all pile up on each other was super stressful. And so I had actually never really gotten the idea of puppy raising until I had gone to a puppy class, and I actually went to see all the current puppy raisers puppy raising their dogs and seeing how they were able to make a difference in someone's life. And then eventually I ended up going to a graduation that happens at their headquarters in Santa Rosa. And so the graduation is a graduate, so a person with a disability graduating with their new certified and skilled service dog. And so that really got me thinking that I really wanted to be a puppy raiser for CCI. And seeing that the puppy raisers were turning in their pups for matriculation and for advanced and professional training was really touching. And knowing that I'm helping someone with a disability in the future was really important to me. And giving back to the community was something that I've always wanted to do. And the fact that I love dogs and the fact that I love giving back to the community is just a perfect match for CCI. And I would highly suggest looking more into becoming a CCI puppy raiser if you guys are at all interested in doing community service, but then also not having a long-term commitment with a animal. But it is a short-time commitment, but you have to be very diligent with the time you spend to training the dog.
In a recent news investigation, people around are buying service dog vests online and pretending that their dog is a service animal just so that they can bring them into places. I asked Erin from CCI for her opinion on it.
When somebody needs a service dog, if everybody had access to an organization like Canine Companions for Independence, it would be so much more, the world would be a better place, because the dogs that they produce, they have their own breeding program, so they control everything from the get-go. They control everything, and it's when you see the product that they give to people and see the change in their life, it's really life-changing for me and for everybody who's involved in it.
Having a service animal changes the way people can live the life that they might have always wanted to live, but because they have a disability, they couldn't. Animals change the life by being able to be their eyes or hands of those that are unable to do certain things. As for people with PTSD, they are able to keep people calm and make sure that they live a life that they used to before they got PTSD. For the people that are pretending that their dog is a service animal, they are taking away the life of certain people that are actually in need of that animal. Everyone should have an open mind about others and should take the time to realize that being self-centered isn't the way that they should live.